everybody. It's Anna Marie Oak from Anna Marie Oak Designs, and I'm here today to show you how I painted my Christmas poinsettia. This is the bicycle pattern that was in a book, but the book is no longer in print. So it's such a high demand for this pattern that I had it into a pattern packet. So I'm just going to give you a little quick demo on how to do the basket and the texture for the flowers and applying the pebeo. So it's a fun piece and I hope you enjoy it. So let's get started. This bicycle piece that I did, it's the poinsettia and the basket, and it's a really cool way to do the bicycle or any texture on any project. So this is a piece. I started with just a postage stamp piece from Covered Distributing with the edges and all. And I also covered the back with the Tim Holtz postage stamp telegram background, which is really cool. So I'm going to show you how I did this on a smaller board and how to use the decoupage from DecoArt. So I'm just going to practice on this canvas piece right here. And I cut out my piece of telegram paper. I'm going to use the napkin in decoupage, DecoArt, because I like the texture of this one. So I just open up my cover and pour a little bit, probably the size of a silver dollar. There you go, on your palette. I'm also going to use my go-to brushes, which, you know, I get up in the morning, people ask me, what do you do when you get up first thing in the morning? What I do is come downstairs in my studio and get my coffee, and these are my go-to brushes. My go-to brushes that I use all the time are my Faux Sable, the 1-inch, the Faux Sable 3/4 inch, and the 1/2 inch Faux Sable by Dynasty, and they're my brushes that I use all the time. I also like my script liner, number 1. I also use a 0 sometimes too, but I love the number 1. And of course, my various sizes of the Stencil Pro. Those are my go-to stencil brushes for doing the backgrounds and stenciling. But today we're going to be doing the oils with pebeo, with the Eye of the Tiger, and I'm using a number 3/4 inch Eye of the Tiger, number 10, and a number 4 round. Those are the 3 brushes that I use for oils for my pebeo. So I'm going to place those here, and we're going to go back to our piece, and I use my 1-inch Faux Sable for applying the decoupage to my piece. I always wet my brush first when I'm using acrylics. Just wet it, dab it on a paper towel, load up your brush, both sides, and just apply that decoupage, there you go, to your piece, and go to the sides. Now I had already cut out a piece of the postage stamp background paper, so that's all ready to go. And remember to put your brush back in the water because it does get a little hard. So my paper is right here, and I'm just going to take my piece out of the way so we don't get it sticky. And I lay my paper, make sure you have it upright. There you go. And apply it from the top and work downwards. Now this paper I love, it's got like a nice silicone feel to it, and I love it. If your paper is too long, that's okay. All we do is go with the decoupage and cover over the top part again, get a nice coverage and seal. Go right to the edge, and I sometimes make it very wet on the bottom, okay? And you just tear that off. That just comes off, and the nice rough rugged edge comes off. Very good. There you go. and smooth it out. We like a few little wrinkles, but this paper goes on so beautifully. There you go. You just let it dry, okay? When it's totally dry, you take your line copy and you trace it out, okay? My piece was a little cool. So when I traced it out with the black carbon, I couldn't see it very well. So I just took a marker and just outlined it so you could see it on the camera, okay? What we're going to be doing is our basket and our poinsettias and our leaves, okay? And I'm going to go through with you what you need. This is a pattern packet. It was a book. Jilly Bean published a book for us, and it was so exciting. It was my first book to be in a book, and it was just amazing. It's called A Christmas Poinsettia. So it was pretty cool. The pattern gives you the ornaments also along with the piece. So it's pretty cool. Okay, so what we're going to do first is apply that texture. I have my own texture developed for this, and it's just Anna Marie Oaks texture. That's all I call it. Okay, and you can see how creamy it is on the inside. I'm going to move it ahead a little so you can see. There you go. I take my paper plate and I apply with the palette knife a bit of texture, probably, oh, I don't know, probably 2 dollops, I like to call it, but 2 full scoops, okay? And put your cover on, even though it's got a great life expectancy. Anything in textures, it's good to put your cover back on. So we're going to begin. I'm going to use my palette knife for applying the texture. And I'm going to begin with the basket first. The basket underneath the leaves and the poinsettia. So that's what we're going to do first. I'm going to apply the texture using my palette knife from behind, from the back portion of my palette knife. I'm then going to go right in the center of that basket and spread it around fairly smooth. Okay, for now. You're saying a basket is not smooth, but for now, spread it around. If you see a little bit of your background, don't worry about it, okay? That's going to be covered up, and it's kind of nice sometimes to see the background, especially when you apply the Pebeo. It looks rather nice, actually. So when we get the basket full of our texture like that, we're going to make ridges and lines. So I'm going to use my toe. Your palette knife is your toe, heel, and handle, okay? So with the toe pointing downwards, we're going to make long, curved indentations like that and come across, bending your palette knife, making it bend. There you go. Basket, okay? I don't know if you can see it there. I'm just going to hold it up for you so you can see the ridges. Pretty cool. Okay, now we're going to go with the poinsettia and the leaves. On my piece and on the pattern packet, you can see that we're going to do the red and the green leaves that had the texture, but those little leaves that are outside, that comes after, okay? So don't worry about that. We're just going to do the texture on the poinsettia and the leaves. Okay. We're going to apply with our toe again, pick up our texture with our toe, and not quite as much this time as what we did with the basket. And I'm going to do the underlying petals, okay? So we're going to come down, apply it, and go to the very edge with your toe and bring it back. There you go. That's a floral, okay? That's a flower done with the palette knife. You can see the ridges there. Leave those ridges. Those ridges are what our Pebeo Vitri is going to fall off and make highlights, and it's going to fall in the dips and valleys to make shades. So that's what we're aiming for. I'm also going to go down around my basket, just apply that texture. I'm kind of using the side of my palette knife, okay, to slip down to the point and slide back. Then I'm going to apply a little bit of pressure to make a few veins. I'm going to go over that basket because some of the petals are over that basket. And you're just following along, going to the toe and bringing it back, sliding, okay? I'm turning my piece around. That way it just makes it a little easier. I'm going to add a few more petals there. This flower on top kind of overlaps the bottom one. So we always do the bottom first. Then we'll go ahead and apply our texture. Oh, nice valleys and ripples. Can you see that? How really cool that is. And I'm seeing the background off my paper, and that's totally fine. I chose this because I like postage paper and anything vintage. I just love the look of it. You can also apply just scrapbook paper, gift wrap, whatever you want, you can apply. So I'm moving around. There you go. Moving around. Coming around. Making our poinsettias. I'm not going to do those little tiny leaves out there. I'm going to do that after. So we're going to let that dry. For the centers, don't worry about that because I've got a little tip for you. But if you want to take your toe and just kind of make a couple little centers there off the poinsettia, that'll be perfectly fine. So basically, that's how we did the basket and the flower. Now, it takes probably about 10 minutes for that to dry, so I'm just going to leave that there. I like to clean off my palette knife in a paper towel before I wash it in the water. And don't lay it down because you'll have it all over your nice project. So I just kind of wipe it off. There you go. And go into the water. Just dip it into the water to clean it. It's water soluble, so it's okay. We use water. Now I'm going to talk to you a little bit about the Vitrail while that's drying. For the kit for this, I on my website and on Julie Bean's website, Julie Bean Fitzhenry on her website, and also on mine, Anna Marie Oak Designs, you'll see the kit for this. It comes with the 4 Pebeo colors. It's the Vitrail Lightning Medium. I'm going to move my piece up so you can see the Vitrail Green Gold, the black in the Vitrail, and the crimson. Those colors are all you need for doing this particular pattern for the poinsettia. I also use an embellishment with the Prima company, and it's a rose gold, and it's a metallic, but DecoArt has some pretty cool metallics, and there's a lot online. So this is a rose gold, and it's so creamy that we're going to use over the basket. Okay, there you go. And of course the decoupage you can get at Michael's or whatever. I also have little seed beads that I use for the centers of the poinsettias, but you can also use bath salts. So take your bath salts and you use them for centers of your poinsettias. They melt a little bit and they add a really nice texture. So my Pebeo Vitrail, I like to pour it in empty water bottle caps, okay? Just empty water bottle caps. And this is for 2 reasons. Vitrail is an oil, so it's got a little bit of a odor to it, but not too bad. And also, I like it because it saves my paint. And it's a liquid, so it would run all over your palette. So you just put it in the bottle caps and that saves it. Okay. Now, the colors look to you, you're saying, oh my goodness, they all look black And that's true. When Pebeo is poured from the bottle, whether it's green, red, or whatever, except for the lightning medium, it all looks black. Okay, so what I like to do is take a Q-tip and into my bottle cap and mark it. That's the red. This is the green. Well, we know our lightning medium, and this is the black. Okay, so that's just a little tip for you, so you can see what you're painting. Okay, our texture is dry. I'm just going to talk about our brushes that we're using for the oils. The Eye of the Tiger are just an awesome brush to use with the oils. I love them. You can use them for acrylics or whatever you're painting. But I was particularly fond of the belly, okay? The body of the brush, it holds so much liquid. So it was holding my liquid paints, which was really cool, okay? Before we start with our Eye of the Tiger, I'd like to use a bit of baby oil and just ordinary baby oil, and just dip them in the baby oil before you start, okay? Makes them nice and soft and more pliable and easy to flow. Alrighty, so we'll just have them ready to use. The very first thing I did on my piece was the basket, okay? So what I did there, I just painted the basket. Actually, I'm going to paint this again on this one while this is drying, just to show you, okay, what I did. Okay, I used Espresso by Americana, and I used my number or half-inch faux sable, and I just applied the paint to the basket. I'm just going to go over this basket again because I really want you to see how neat the embellishments are. So you just go over your basket, paint your texture with the espresso. There you go. Perfect. And you just let that dry for a few minutes and put your brush in water to let it soak. Paint up. There you go. Now, while that's drying, I like to use the IPC, which is a great brush for burnishing. Okay, this is the IPC. They come in a variety of sizes. I'm using the medium. You can get medium, large, and even the extra large. So for my embellishment, let that dry a little. It's drying fairly fast. That's a good thing. I go into my embellishment, my cream embellishment, and I just apply it to my basket. And it falls in and out of the dips and valleys, and it just gives it a nice texture. There you go. You can see it over here, how I did that. And it just gives it a nice shine and shimmer. So I use my IPC, the medium one, for that one. Okay. I'm going to mute myself, I think, and I'm going to use my hair dryer just to dry this a little bit because this is so cool to so the vitriol falling over the poinsettias. Okay, so I'm going to mute myself. And there I am, back again. Okay, it dries fairly quickly, actually, but it's nice to give it a little speed with the hair dryer. When you dry with the hair dryer with the texture, make sure you use it on cold setting, okay? Because the heat setting may crack it a little or whatever, but this worked out fine. So I'm going to base coat my basket first. This one, there we go. And with the espresso, and you just go in under where the leaves and the petals are. Okay. You can see how nice the ridges are for the basket. go. Okay, just let that dry. We're going to go ahead now with the petals and the leaves for our poinsettias because our texture is dry, and we'll put the embellishment on the basket lastly, okay? So we're going to go ahead. Our brushes have been soaked in baby oil a little bit. There we go. Okay, so they're nice and soft and pliable and ready to go ahead with the Pebeo Vitreo. So we get a nice paper towel and put by the side of our piece that we're working on. Palette, okay, we bring this in. The very first thing I'm going to do is use my large number, well, 3/4 inch Eye of the Tiger, and I'm going to go into the lightning medium, and I'm going to lift this up so you can see it. And as I'm going into the lightning medium, I'm pushing down. I'm incorporating a lot of that medium into the middle of the brush, in the bristles. That's the purpose of that nice full belly, is soaking up that oil. And I'm going to go to my piece, and I'm going to just give it a nice coat of that lightning medium. We use the lightning medium. Enables us to lighten our colors, of course, if we want a lighter red or whatever. But for when you use it on texture, enables it to slide off the raised areas and flow a lot easier. So, you know, you don't want to be scant with this. You really want to give this a wonderful, nice, good coat of lightning medium. Now, there's no drying with this. This is wet, okay? And we want it to be wet. To clean our brush, we just take our paper towel and pinch it off in between, okay? There it is, pinch it off. Okay, I think I'm going to do the green first, okay? And you look at your pattern, your picture on your pattern or my piece here. I'm going to be doing those green leaves in the center of the poinsettias first, okay? I'm going to still use my 3/4 Eye of the Tiger, and I'm going to go into my red, and I'm going to do this the same way. I'm going to load my bristles. There you go. Push, push down. You got a nice full load. I'm then going to start from the center of the poinsettia, and voila, there you go. You can see how nice it's falling. It's flowing, actually. I don't know if you can see, so you can see it going over it. Isn't that pretty? It's so rich looking. If this was pink, Jilly Bean would love. She's the pink girl. Okay, everything I see pink when I'm out, I say, oh, she'd love that. She'd love that. She loves the pink. There you go. I'm a red girl, I think. I love reds. And so rich. You don't want to be skimpy on this. Now, I said I was going to be, you do my green first. I looked at the green cap, and it's red, but you know what? I'm okay with that. When I see red, I get really excited, so I go first. So we'll leave out a couple of the leaves, and it's good to do what we would think would be a little bit of a boo-boo, so I'll show you how to fix it. So say if I wanted this petal right here to be a leaf, and I said, oh, I put red there. I want it green. What you do, take your paper towel, pinch it off in between, and wipe out that color. It's only oil, okay? It's only oil. There you go. Just wipe it out again and pinch it off. Go into the lightning medium. Go into the lightning medium. Apply the lightning medium there again. Pinch it off and go into that green color to make your petal. One color counteracts the other. There you go. There's our green leaf right over that poinsettia petal. So now, since I've got green on my brush, I'm just going to go ahead with a few leaves in the center there and on the side. There's one down here, I think. And it doesn't matter where you put them. It's so sporadic that it doesn't really matter. So that's enough green for there. Don't forget to pinch off your brush and your paper towel. And I'm going to go back with the red, not the green. I'm going to go back with the red. See, it's very important that you do mark your palette because they all look alike. They all look alike. There's a red again. And I'm just going back. And if it goes over, we're okay with that. Especially for florals, okay? Florals are so free that, you know, they're easy to be forgiven, okay? So, and that's our petals, basically, okay? Now, I'm going to wipe my brush again with my paper towel. And I'm going to switch over to my small or smaller brush. It's in the Eye of the Tiger. It's the number 10. And I'm going to make a few little leaves outside, okay? So I'm going to go with the green. And the green is in the red cat. There you go. We got it now. And I'm going to go outside and just make a few little filler leaves, okay? So really, it's just no texture. It's just Pebeo Vitrail, okay? If you hit a little bit of the red, it's okay. It just makes for a nice combination of color, okay? So there you go. Now, this takes overnight to dry. I am going to do the centers for you as well. I wash my brushes in odorless terps only after when I've completed my painting, and then I go to the odorless terps. Other than that, I just clean them off in my paper towel, and I use baby oil if I want to get a little bit of color out of it, okay? For the centers, we're going to take our round, and this is our number 4, Eye of the Tiger, and we're going to go into the black. And the black color in Vitrail is very, very intense. It's not transparent. So the reds and the greens and all the other colors are, but the black, and it runs away from you. So just give you a little tip. I'm just loading my tip of my round, and I'm holding it almost perpendicular. It's kind of filling in the centers with that black, okay? And remember, don't let it get to run away with you, okay? There's a center there, and there's a center right here. There you go. Now, wipe off your brush and just dip it into your baby oil to clean. There you go. For the centers, I like to use glass seed beads or bath salts. That's right. Go to your bathroom, and those bath soak, coconut oil, and sea salt. This one is. So that's a really nice one for when you're at the beach. No beaches here. I tell you, we're getting a major snowstorm here tonight, so we got to wait for that. Sign the times. I like to pour my bath salts into a little cap, and I kind of just take them just a little bit at a time and pour them in the centers. They will dissolve a little bit, but you'll still get a nice texture, and the black will soak up into the bath salts, okay? Now, if you get a few little bath salts on the poinsettia, it only looks like a bit of snow or a little bit of ice, and it's perfectly fine, okay? So that's how I did my poinsettia and my basket. I shade it. Once this is perfectly dry, I just shade it around, and this is all on the pattern packet for the poinsettia. I shade it around here with black, okay? And after the bicycle is done. For the spokes, I just want to talk about this for a little bit. This is done with the Pebeo outliner, okay? And it's, I have those too. they're on my website. And I only use black and gold, so you can get many, many colors, but for my style of painting, I only just use black and gold. So how I did this, and in the pattern it shows you, I just went in the center, the circles with this, and I just brought it out to make that raised spokes. Okay, so that's pretty cool. It's pretty neat. Once it dries totally, and for this to dry, it takes, for the spokes especially, it takes a good hour for it to dry totally. You then shade around the inside of the bicycle and around the bicycle, so that's pretty cool. I am going to just put a little bit of my rose gold with my IPC and dry it off. If you had it wet, just dry it off. It's perfectly fine. There you go. And I just went into my embellishment. This comes in brass and aged brass and gold, and it's very cool. There you go. What you're doing is just touching the top of the texture, and it's just giving it a nice embellishment. And that's the final stage on that one. Well, I hope you've enjoyed my poinsettia, Christmas poinsettia. This is so much fun. My set for this, the kit that comes with this, comes complete. And on the website, Artist20 is the save coupon on the website. So if you go on that, you can save 20%. Oh, I'm getting the smell of the nice coconut oil now. It smells very nice. Anyway, joining me for the first Friday. Jelly Bean and I, we've been having so much fun doing these chats and late night chats and early morning chats, and you know, it's just been so enjoyable. It's surprising what you can do when you work together and as friends. So stay tuned for a lot of great stuff coming up, and we'll be talking to you soon. Thank you. Bye for now.